Hi Mustangs, it's Mr. Warmouth. This is, week 14, April 13th, Monday, April 13th. I'm just going to give you a quick rundown of what you're going to do this week and turn you loose. The first thing is you always need to start from modules and go to the week that we're on. We are on week 14, okay? So this week we only meet one time, technically. We only have one grade day, that's Wednesday. But you need to read the entire information sheet, assignment sheet, information page, assignment page, whatever you want to call it, okay? Blue day is not our day, but there's still information about, hey, have you done this? Do you need help with this? Make sure you turn this in, okay? So always read through the entire week, okay? So from the top, the first thing I would say is, as reminders, make sure that if you have not submitted your book idea for the reader's response writing, you do that soon. I have probably half. I think I've heard from about half of you. If you're confused, there have been several people confused about this, but I think we're better now. The narrative, the ocean or space narrative seemed to be, I don't know, that combined with the reader's response as a future assignment was throwing people off. Shouldn't, but always read your instructions. If you have questions, ask. Several of you have been doing that. That's great. But the reader's response writing is the last assignment for the school year for you. You're going to read a book of your choice, and you're going to write an informal essay about that book. Now, the only thing is you need to click on the reader's response writing, whether that's, I'll add a link here, or previous weeks, or you can go to assignments over here, click on reader's response. It'll give you more information, okay? You have 6 different categories that you're writing about or that you're going to give me. So don't just think you're going to write one page about the book you read. This is what happened, the end, turn it in. That's not what I'm looking for. Okay, so please read the instructions there. Your response to the Triangle Factory fire stories from last week is due today. That's a Canvas submission. So please make sure that you click here if you need to and submit your answers through Canvas. Yes, this is not a grade day. It is not a day for you to do homework for English, but it was assigned on Friday. I wanted to give you the weekend so you could get through the reading and you could do the response. So please make sure that you use your time. I know you have a lot to do, a lot of different teachers coming at you from different angles with different assignments, but it's just what it is right now. I'm not trying to overload you with anything. This is going to be a really light week, and I think next week's going to be really light too. All you have really is reading. But today, Monday, make sure that you submit your response to the reading from last week. Okay, it's an easy assignment. Ask if you have questions. Email if you have questions, though. The last thing on here is just a video kind of explaining about the fire. It's an animated thing. It's 8 or 10 minutes long. And again, it's not an assignment you don't have to watch, but if you're not really understanding the point of this and why we're reading about a fire, this might help you. The whole point is to think about cause and effect relationships. Sometimes good things come from these horrible tragedies. All right, so Wednesday, this is our day, Wednesday this week, April 15th, talking about historical fiction. So you've read about the Triangle Factory fire. Now you're going to read really 3 pieces from a book called Uprising. This is something we would have done in class if we were meeting face to face. So historical fiction is when an author takes a specific time period and they want to kind of put us in that time period. So in the case of Yetta and Jane and Bella, these 3 different stories about 3 different people that were in the fire. It's fiction, it's made up, but it's just about showing us what it would have been like to live back then and what it would have been like to be in this horrible tragedy. The whole point is to make us think about, one, that these people are really similar to what we are today. They didn't have cell phones and Zoom and computers to do stuff, but they're people, just like we're people. Lots of the same wants and desires and problems. They're just us. So that's one side of it. The other side is to think about what it would have been like to go through something like this. And it would have been horrible. It's fast moving. Even though there's a lot to read, it's a fast moving event. The fire starts and spreads within minutes, and then people are jumping out of windows within 10 minutes. It's insane. So if you'd like to, you can click on this link. It talks about historical fiction a little bit. It's something we would have done in class as well. but all you're doing is reading a story. It's called Yetta, and it's on page 283 of your collections book. If you need a collections book, a textbook, you're going to have to go to Wainwright and ask Mrs. Richardson or Mr. Lowry for one of those books. They're available. We'll check them out to you, but you should be able to do this by clicking here, or the second link takes you to this PDF. It's the very same story. It's the same as our book. Okay, so Yetta starts on page 283. It's about 8 pages long, I think, maybe. Again, it's written from the perspective of someone who would have been in the fire. It's trying to give you that feel of what it would have been like. The last thing for the week is just the reminder page for Friday. Make sure that you submit your book idea for the reader's response. Make sure that you read Yetta. Make sure that you submit any assignments that we've done so far that are due, which would have just been last week's response to the Triangle Factory fire. And if you're having trouble, ask. Contact your teachers. Contact me. Contact whoever it is for whatever class, and we'll try to help you out. Okay. The narratives are graded. The space ocean narratives are graded. A lot of you did a good job with that. Some of you still need to turn those in. So if you have not turned in your space or ocean narrative, please turn that in. The goal is not to give you bad grades, especially during this time. It's hard for everyone to make this work. But if you're following instructions, following directions, just kind of hanging with us and doing what we ask you to do, you're going to do really well. You're going to do fine. But if you don't turn things in, that's when your grade is going to turn south pretty quickly. So that's it. Have a great week. If you have questions, email, and we'll see you next